All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a great day, learning a lot. We're excited today to talk about the metaverse. So, I'm Natalia Mazzucchelli, Head of Partner Success at Immutable X, the first and leading layer 2 scaling solution for NFTs. But enough about me. Let's get to the panelists. Alex and Chris. Alex joins us from Republic Crypto as the head of staking and infrastructure. Really excited to hear from her. Hello. And then Chris joins us from MetaJuice, head of business development. Parent company is Together Labs, which has under its belt InView, one of the largest metaverses. So really excited to hear from both of you. And now, hopefully I did a good job, but let's start with the first question, which is, what do you actually do, and how do you explain what you do at the dinner table with your family? So maybe Alex starts first.
Sure, I'll take that. You know, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, so there will be plenty of opportunities to explain this to my family, and I can't wait to explain staking and infrastructure to my family. Generally, what I tell people is that I empower them to operate the next wave of the internet and get paid by a computer to do it in a way that's stable, well-defined, and programmatic.
That's pretty impressive. Now I know what you do.
There it is. That explains everything, right?
How does Grandma take that?
They're like, cool. That's awesome.
Chris?
Yeah, so MetaJuice, I start off by explaining what MetaJuice is. So we're a wholly owned subsidiary of Together Labs, as you noted. And what we do is we take our in-house properties from Web 2 to Web 3. And so when I'm talking to the family, I'm explaining how, we're introducing NFTs, we're introducing currencies into our Metaverse platform to increase the utility and fun for our users.
Good job. Awesome. I'm bought in. So InView is one of the first and leading user-led metaverses. What's different about a user-led metaverse, and what are some of the challenges that come with that?
Yeah, the metaverse space is interesting because metaverse is so much in the public right now, but we've been around for 18 plus years. We're one of the OGs in the space, and so we've been managing, in this metaverse space for a long time. And there's a lot of challenges to it, which a lot of our friends that are Web3 native are dealing with and going through. And I think the thing that makes InView different and really gives us a head start. Obviously, we've got a large user base, almost 4 to 5 million daily monthly active users, but we have a true user-led economy. And so creating that economic flywheel, which is one of the pitches we saw earlier. They're trying to help Web3 companies, Web3 game studios build their economies. Well, we have an economy that is thriving, that is user-led. It's been going over and over and over for many years now. And that's really the hard piece to create. You can create a lot of features, and you can create a lot of buzz, but building a true economy is really quite challenging.
And how does Republic Crypto fit into the space?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We see a broad swath of the industry and get a chance to interact with builders throughout the metaverse space. And I think one thing that's sort of interesting is, given the moment that our industry is in right now, where we're trying to realize the promise of decentralization, there's this tendency to sort of shy away from making some of the decisions that add value when we tackle the problem of reality building. So for example, I think there's this idea that the metaverse could be a collection of realities. And building those realities on a blockchain allows individuals to move in and out of those different realities and bring their identities, right, and their belongings in and out of those spaces without having to leave anything behind. Now, what that means is that each of those realities adds something to our identity. And as we move between those spaces, we start constructing these sort of like multi-dimensional realities. What that means is there's a little bit less risk in defining the rules of any given reality, because you're not affecting the rules of any adjacent realities or conflicting realities, right? The idea is we decide where to bring our identities and our belongings, and we decide whether or not we like the rules, right, and want to leave. But that shouldn't stop us from making rules within the context of the realities that we're building. And I think as we start to get comfortable with that challenge, we'll see metaverse development move more quickly and see more interesting things, I think, happening in reality development.
Mm. There's a lot of skepticism around metaverses. Like, do people actually want to be in metaverse? Is this 2030 Matrix, 20, 30 years away, like Matrix, or is this happening now? So tell me a little bit about your users. Who are they? What are they doing? How are they experiencing the metaverse?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, a lot of people think about the metaverses as games. While, yes, they're gaming platforms, ours is a social metaverse. People come there to hang out with their friends. You know, if you look at our usage spikes, it's on the weekends, it's Fridays, it's when people aren't working. It's because they're normal, everyday people, and they're coming to spend time in the metaverse so they can spend time with their friends in the metaverse, very much in the same way that, you know, in real life we spend time with our friends when we're not working. And so that's what we see in our space, and what we're doing in terms of, you know, going from Web 2 to Web 3 is we're slowly introducing to our users the added utility and benefits that come from things like NFTs. So for example, in our metaverse previously, you didn't have NFTs, so you had no scarcity. And our users create all of the goods in our metaverse, the shirts, the shoes, you know, furniture, the whole nine. And so adding scarcity allows those users who are developing goods and services in our ecosystem to be able to, you know, have higher value things, lower value things, things that are for everybody, things that are for a certain group. Hey, if I wanted to create a TechCrunch crypto t-shirt and give it everyone here, you know, I can do that now, and that would just be for the folks who are here. So it's really adds a different opportunity and different experiences and different utility than what we previously had.
And then in working with InView, have you noticed anything about the behaviors users on their platform that are surprising, exciting in terms of future?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. There's something distinct about the challenge of taking who I am out here, right, IRL, and trying to have a new kind of experience in a different reality. I am me, but for example, you know, due to some like geospatial limitation, I can't test drive the car that I'd like to test drive because it's manufactured internationally or something, right? And so I might step into a virtual space in order, as myself, to have a kind of experience that as me out here, I can't have, right? I think that's very different than building your identity from scratch in a space where I have to find out who I am and also get information about who you are really quickly in a world where neither of us are in there who we are out here, right? And so it's not super surprising to me that gaming has played such an important role in the development and conversation around reality building, because I don't necessarily need other people there to sort of develop an identity in a game, right? I'm progressing and achieving and, you know, gaining badges and sort of building some concept of who I am. And then when I come together with others, for example, to build a team, right, or to vote on the rules of the game, we can get information about each other really quickly that tells me I want to pick you for my team, right, or I want to vote on this rule with you. I think that it's like either you're sort of building a new kind of experience where you need like more hardware, right? Like bigger haptic feedback, more reactive, you know-ness to your movements, et cetera, to be able to define the experience. Or you're sort of building an identity, and it's not super surprising that gaming is playing a really important role in that.
So it's one thing, as you're alluding to, creating that social connection, entertainment experience, and it's another layer to create a healthy economy. So how do you actually create a healthy, thriving economy on the platform like a metaverse?
That's a great question, and I think that most of the metaverses out there are trying to figure that out. If you just think about the number of users in a lot of the major metaverses out there, they're not that high. And it's not that high, not because they don't have some pretty good experiences and stuff, but moving from, hey, a platform to end user economy to a user to user economy is something that you have to build. It's something that takes time, something that comes from relationships on the platform. And so, I look back at our 18 plus years in this space, and I've tried to identify, like, hey, where were the turning points when, you kind of saw this flip to, this user-led economy. And unfortunately, there's not really a turning point. It's a lot of small iterative steps over time, both building trust in your platform, allowing users to build relationships, creating the right marketplace dynamics and incentives within that marketplace such that people are willing to and want to engage with each other in that way. And so it's got to be an iterative process for everyone. There's no like magic, now you're going to have, this great user-driven economy.
And InView is an 18-year-old company. That's what was surprising to me. The time is actually not just from a crypto upturn, but it takes years and time and dedication to build. Anything to add, Alex?
I also think that, building realities on top of a blockchain doesn't necessarily mean that you're using the blockchain to build economic value. It's possible that it could just empower ownership of your identity, right, or some belonging. But this idea that it has transactional value, it's not fundamental, I think, to every reality that will ultimately get built on a blockchain. And nonetheless, I still think blockchain has value as sort of like the core development layer of the metaverse.
The technology versus just the currency.
Exactly.
And how about, so you're giving up some control, or a lot of control, by having a user-led metaverse. How do you think about giving up that control, and how do you think about moderation and creating a safe and healthy place for people to connect, but also realizing that that control largely is given up?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest, that a lot of the emerging metaverses will run into and have to deal with. We have a large moderation team who's on the platform regularly. The culture that exists within the platform amongst our users enables certain norms of behavior as well. But just like in real life, people are coming to the metaverse with the exact same, qualities and foibles that they have in real life, and you've got to have some systems in place to be able to deal with that, because otherwise people aren't going to want to spend time there. And so it's definitely one of the areas, as some of the kind of native Web3 metaverses come along, that they're going to have to spend a lot of time figuring out how to manage.
I kind of feel like every builder of each reality in the metaverse should take a stance on which rules govern that metaverse. I don't think handing that off to users immediately will be fruitful, because people have to spend some time in a reality to understand where the boundaries are and decide which boundaries they want to change. But the important thing is that the rules are transparent. And I think if people understand what the rules are, then they can decide whether or not they like them.
So now we're in the builder phase. You're talking about building, making decisions, Web 2, Web 3. Current macroeconomic situation, crypto situation is tough. Some bear market, I call it a build market. What's next for you? What's around the corner? What keeps you excited and keep going in your roles?
Yeah, it's a good question. So first, we were not directly impacted by any of the events of the recent weeks. For us, we're super excited. So we launched NFTs on iOS, Android, and desktop, all within the last, 30, 45 days or whatever. Super excited to be able to do that. Not a lot of folks, native Web3 folks are on mobile to begin with, and even fewer have NFTs. We're super excited to work with Immutable. Probably by the time we get to phase 2 and phase 3 of our NFTs project, we'll probably be doing more NFT transactions, low-cost transactions, than any platform out there. Because we've got lots of users that are doing millions of transactions on a daily basis, buying and selling, like I said, low-priced, shirts and hats and pants and stuff. And so we're excited about where it's going, because we've seen from the early results that we've had on the platform that our users are excited about it, and our users are excited about the utility. We'll sell, a shirt for $3 from us to the user to begin with, and we've already seen 100 plus X trading on those items. And while that's not the purpose on our platform, it was just a demonstration of, oh, there is an interest in this, because our users, again, are kind of normal, everyday folks. They're not Web3 native folks. They didn't come to InView because, oh, I'm coming here because I'm interested in crypto or I'm interested in NFTs. Our users have been around for a long time. Over half of our revenue comes from users that have been on the platform for over a year. So we're not like a churn and burn type of platform. So for us, being able to introduce these new functionality into the platform is really a test case in adoption for the general market. And so we're excited about the early results and excited about what's to come, in the first half of 2023.
From our side, from the infrastructure perspective, app chains have been a sort of controversial topic, but I think that they are core to what the metaverse will ultimately look like. There is a lot of controversy, so we operate infrastructure right on core protocols like Cosmos, or Avalanche, and now, we've got supernets, subnets, app chains, and there's a lot of back and forth about whether or not there's value of that or whether every application needs its own, subnet, supernet, et cetera. And I think if we look at an application as a reality within the broader scope of the metaverse, it becomes sort of clear why each reality might need its own economic incentive or might need to run sort of separately from the main protocol in order to scale. And so in my space, it's exciting to sort of see how the infrastructure will be adapted to use cases that we're not totally, I don't think, thinking about yet.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up with a fire round that you have no idea what's coming. So really easy rules of engagement. Don't overthink it. One question, each one of you answers. So first one and the first two are a little bit of loaded questions. So Bitcoin or Ether?
I'm Bitcoin.
Oh, man. All right, I'll take Ether.
Okay, got it. We had to meet in real life or the metaverse?
Wait, say that question again?
We're meeting in real life or in the metaverse?
Metaverse.
Definitely got to be in the metaverse.
Okay, yeah, a little
Beat it
loaded
here.
question, right? What's your superpower?
Curiosity.
Nice, good one.
My smile.
Yes.
That is Chris's superpower.
You're a great listener at dinner last night. Great listener. And last one, if you had one advice for people starting in crypto, what would it be?
Learn hard and fast and try to sleep, but good luck.
Learn the basics. Learn it from the ground up. Understand the fundamentals. Understand why we're here to begin with before you worry about kind of the stuff that we've begun to layer on top of it.
Any place where they should get started?
Gosh, there's a gazillion reasons.
With a great team.
Got it. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris and Alex. Really appreciate the time.
Pleasure.